Hey everyone, welcome back. This is my review of Higurashi and They Cry, episode 20. This next episode, I believe, is actually the final episode of this arc. Okay, and then we'll enter the final arc, which I believe is going to be the last 5 episodes of the series. And, you know what? I have to say something right here. I just noticed this watching this episode. I can't believe I didn't notice this before. I just noticed this watching this episode. And no one told me about this because I haven't uploaded any of the videos of me reviewing episodes of this arc yet. Okay, they're all still on my tablet, so I haven't uploaded them yet. I'll upload them all at once, basically, but I just noticed this. Even though Season 2 is supposed to be the answer season, we're getting some answers in this arc right here, okay? Because this arc basically parallels not the first arc, I believe it's the second arc, if I'm not mistaken. It was I believe it was the last arc that had 6 episodes. So I believe that would have been the second arc. Okay. And I already realized that it did parallel it because there it told it in, I believe, it was either, was it Mion's or was it Keiichi's point of view? It could have been a little bit of both, but either way though. And this arc tells it completely in Shion's point of view. I already realized that, but I didn't realize some of the different parallels. For example, there was that conversation in the last episode, there was that conversation with Shion and Keiichi, although Keiichi thought it was Mion, where she asked if she saw Shion, and Keiichi, says that she asked that the other night. Obviously, the other when he's talking about the other night, we didn't see that in this arc. But because this is from Shion's point of view, but from the other night, he's talking about when Mion asked that, but he thought that this was Mion when it was really Shion. I know, I'm probably confusing you. I'm just as confused as you are. Okay, but and when that happened the first time in the second arc, I believe we actually thought that was Mion as well. Because I don't know if Shion was even introduced at that point, but if she was, I'm pretty sure we thought that was Mion as well. That's just one example. There were a few more examples of that in the last episode. And this episode is when I kind of clued into it, when we had Rika coming over to Shion's house to borrow some soy sauce. Okay? And in the second arc, we also had that as well, where that was referenced that she did that, and then she disappeared and was turned up dead. Okay? And we found out what happened. It was Shion that killed her. Although I believe at that time it was explained that it was actually Mion that she was going to, even though it was actually Shion. And we found out that it was in fact Shion that killed her. So at the beginning of this arc, that whole scene with Rika basically bashing her head into the knife, yeah, that's explained in this episode, towards the end of this episode. Okay, so I finally clued into a lot of the different parallels to the second arc in this arc in this episode. Okay, so and I think it's really cool exactly how they match so well, and the intent and the attention to detail and consistency with it. Okay, because I think it takes a really good writer to actually remember a lot of the specific details previously on in your story, and so that you actually make the parallels make sense later on in your story. That, I think, takes really good writing skills. The writing in the series has always been really good, but especially in this aspect, the writing is amazing. Okay? So I just thought I'd bring that up first and foremost here. Now, obviously, Rika's dead, and Satoko's next. The reason I can tell this is because Satoko is coming over to see Shion now. I don't remember if she thinks it's Mion or she knows it's Shion, but either way, she's coming on over now. And so that tells me that obviously Satoko is next. Another interesting scene in this episode was actually where, if you remember that well that they were talking about it was either last episode or the episode before, I believe. Okay, and they talked about a few other times in the series as well. Shion was basically kneeling down towards it, and she saw a shadow of Satoshi and heard his voice, and it was actually talking directly to her, and she could talk back and it would respond to her. I don't know if that was actually his spirit or if she's just going insane. Most people would probably say she's just going insane, but which she obviously is. But the thing is that there's already supernatural elements in this series when it comes to Orishiro's curse, anyways. So I wouldn't be at this point in the series, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if it actually was her spirit. Now, Satoshi was obviously deeply in love with her if he didn't resent her for doing all these horrible things on his behalf and wanted to, and said he wanted her to continue living. He was obviously madly in love with her, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said before in last episode review, I'm on her side. I've deep amount of respect for anyone who's willing to do this type of stuff for the person they love. I really do, and I stick with that. But most of the time, the person you love probably wouldn't want you to do it. Now, does that mean Satoshi was condoning it? No, but the simple fact that he seems to have forgiven her for it is probably proof of the fact that he really was in love with her. Okay, so that was probably my favorite scene in the episode, actually. Okay, there was also that torture scene in this episode where Shion tortured that guy that she tased at the end of the last episode. I don't remember if he's dead or not. Probably so. I mean, she shows no mercy, so he's probably dead. So yeah, but anyways, overall, once again, this was a great episode. Okay, like it really knows how to play with my emotions. And the next episode, I believe, is supposed to be the final episode of this arc. And normally I'd say that I don't really see how they can finish up this arc in one episode because not only is Satoko obviously going to be killed, but also they had to bring Keiichi back into it as well, you know. But considering how amazing that the pacing is, because these episodes are the standard length for an anime series, but a lot happens in them, and it doesn't feel too like rushed or fast paced or like they're just zooming by either, you know. Or I mean, it doesn't feel. Yeah, every scene has the appropriate amount of screen time, so I'm not rushing any scenes just so they can fit more scenes in there, you know. But it doesn't feel too boring either because so much happens that it takes a while to finish each episode. So I'm really loving that about the series. So I cannot wait for the next episode so I can finally finish this arc. And then there'll be one more arc after that, 5 episodes. So technically speaking, the series now there's a total of 6 episodes left. So anyways, tell me what you thought about this episode in the comment section below. I need to go watch the next episode now, seriously. But anyways, overall, I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. These guys, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.